Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.
What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? So some days I wake up and I say God put something on my mind to share, and some days it's like I'm so pumped to do it. But today I'm pumped to do this, right? Because I feel that anybody can resonate to what I'm about to say. So what I wanted to talk about is sometimes, we have to understand that the devil cannot block your blessing, right? I'm gonna say that again. The devil can't block your blessings, but what he can do is mess with your vision. And what I mean by that is a lot of people have been praying for certain things, right? And God has provided that. But what has happened is we have allowed the devil to mess with our vision. So you can't see. You've already received what you've been praying for. But the devil has blocked your vision. So you sitting up here thinking God ain't hearing your prayers, right? It's right there. It's right there. But you have allowed the devil to block your vision. And what that looks like sometimes is I'm from the Midwest, right? And everybody from the Midwest, or the majority of people, or at least the people in my age range, understood, right, that you're not supposed to wear white in the winter and you're not supposed to wear black in the summer, right? And growing up, I didn't even understand what that meant. It was just something that you didn't do, right? So as I started getting older, I understood that black attracted heat, whatever, right? But in preparation for that change, people would go out and they would shift their wardrobe, preparing for the next season. When, depending on where you at in the world, about September, October, it starts to change a little bit. So what do? You go in that closet and you start pulling out the clothes, preparing for the next season, right? Because you have to shift. The problem is so many people in their normal life, they haven't shifted. I'm 45 now. How I was when I was 30 would not benefit me that I'm 45 now. You see, those seasons that I was in then, you have to learn how to shift. It's really that simple. You have to learn how to shift. But there's a segment of people in the world that haven't learned how to shift, and they fall back into this mindset of, well, this is how I always been. This is how I always been. Well, guess what? That's how you always been, and that's why you are where you are. You see, I believe that life happens. It's how you look at the things that happen. See, for me, I'm in this journey where I'm understanding a lot more now, right? Because my mindset has shifted. Even with my kids, right? My youngest, when I was talking to him when he was 8 or 9, it's different how I talk to him now, right? Because seasons has changed. If I talked to him when he was 8, verse 11, the message would get distorted and the message would be confusing for him because he was not in that season in his life. When I talk to my daughter and we have these conversations, I can't talk to her how I talked to her when she was 15. And when she was 15, I couldn't talk to her like I talk to her now because the seasons, she wasn't ready for that. Relationships, right? When you're in a relationship, I'm talking about a relationship as far as, partner, right? You have to understand that there's going to be different seasons. The problem is when one person thinks of it this way and the other person is content on it being this way. See, I was stationed in Japan, and when I flew in, right, to Narita Airport, I landed. I get there, and I was just like, what in the world? Nobody speaks English, right? Like everybody, I'm trying to ask for help, and maybe some of them did speak, but they act like they didn't, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, right? I don't know what to do, this, that, and other. And I began to get frustrated. Because in my mind, I was saying, why does not anyone in here speak English? But guess what? I wasn't in America. I was in Japan getting upset that they didn't speak my language. So now I'm in the middle of the airport. I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. And my mind is all over the place. And I'm like, man, what, this, that, and the other, right? But in that moment, I took a couple deep breaths. I slowed down and I understood I'm not in America no more. So I'm going to have to do things differently. It was frustrating, but my mindset had to shift. And once I started to shift, I'm, trying to explain something to somebody and I'm like, hey, how do I get this, that, and the other right? And it was like, they couldn't really speak the language, but they can get to me to where I was going. And see, sometimes in relationships, right, when the vision is messed up, this is where things get convoluted, right? Because, both of you guys can start out with the same vision. And when one person is working hard to get to that vision, right? And understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows, right? You're going to have to shift. Your mindset is going to have to shift every single way, right? But then the other person might be like, okay, yeah, I'm shifting, but then something happens and they react to the same way that they always have reacted, right? So they're stuck. They're praying, but they're stuck. But they're praying, but everything that they want, they have received, but their mindset. That's why so many people resort to, and I'm not, saying anything bad about surgery, but a lot of people resort to surgery, you know what I'm saying? Vice working out. Because when they were in their 20s working out, it was like that. Oh, I'm a size, whatever you are, I was looking good and this, that, and the other. But now that you're 30, you say, these pounds ain't coming off fast enough. But you haven't shifted your workout. You have to understand that when you went to bed eating a pint of ice cream, your metabolism was so high, you can do that back then. You can't do that now, but you haven't shifted up here. So you're doing it and then saying, oh my gosh, I can't lose the weight. It's shifting. Sometimes, you can be in a season to where, you're talking with someone or you have a friend or this, that, and the other, right? And, you tell them your vision, right? And this is where you mess around at. You're telling them your vision and they're stuck in their mindset. So they're going to, portray their, how they feel in their mind onto you. You sit up there and you like, listen, my goal is to own a home, in 4 years, and I'm going to do this, that, and other. And the first thing they say, man, I read owning a home is stupid. Man, I heard that you shouldn't even get no business right now because all this stuff is going down and AI is taking over this, that, and other. And if you're not careful, you would take what they said and mess up your vision. Now, here it is. You have been praying to God to help you out to achieve these things that you want to achieve. You've been doing everything that you're supposed to do. You've been living, a life that you can receive the blessings. But you talk to one person. And it will cloud how you think, and everything that you prayed for that you have, you don't see it the same. I woke up this morning, right? And I woke up happy because I choose happiness. Now, that doesn't mean everything is going right in my life, but the way that I have shifted is either I can find anything to be upset about, or I can find one thing to be happy about. And I woke up this morning. 3 years, I'm not even going to say 3 years ago, 7 months ago, I would wake up and I would just be so in my feelings. Because see, me, when you're a creator, one of the hardest things is, getting people to see the vision. Not only that, is getting people to support. And I struggle with that. And that's why I have stopped so many different times, because I struggle with it, because I felt like I wasn't getting that type of support. But when my mind started shifting and I start seeing things better, I start being like, you know what? The people that I expected to support was not who God sent. And the people that God had sent, I need to focus on that. I need to focus on them. So to wrap this up and summarize this up, right? You have to be able to shift. And if you're able to shift and another person is not able to shift, well, guess what? You got to really start evaluating yourself. I'm a talker, right? Like, I'm a talker, and I have no problem saying how I feel. But the problem that I was having was saying how I feel to the wrong person or people. Now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm telling you how I feel. So there can be nothing go on down the line and be like, I didn't know how you felt like that. I didn't know this, that, and the other, right? But every time I would say how I felt, it came off the wrong way. But it came off the wrong way. Not that what I was saying was wrong. Maybe that person's season, they hadn't shifted. See, you're never above correction. You're never above correction. And I thank God for my grandparents every single day. But my grandfather used to tell me when I was wrong. He would tell me when I was not thinking properly. He would say, hey, nah, you ain't supposed, nah, that's, that, and the other, right? And I accepted it. I might not have understood it, but I accepted it. And I said, okay, you know what? All right, cool. So now at the age of 45, those things that I accepted have helped me now. I am in a place in my life right now where I choose peace. I choose it. And anytime problems come my way, I thank God that I'm able to shift. Where I thought that I would be at this age right now, when I was 20, is not where I'm at. And I thank God because I was able to shift. Anyways, man, if this touched anybody out there, y'all go ahead and share it to somebody. Thank y'all.
Hey, let's talk about it, cause honestly we need to talk about social issues, just uplifting my people. Yeah, let's talk about it. Come join the conversation. A connection's what we're creating. Yeah.